the clocks forget to tick, the world holds its breath. Somewhere between two buildings that never met, a seam of shadow loosens, and a narrow door makes itself known. Welcome, traveler of quiet hours. Take a slow breath in, let it go gently. Lay down the weight you carried here. It will not be needed while we are going. The rain has ended. The stones still glisten. Your footfalls sound soft, like pages turning themselves. A faint glow gathers along the doorframe, gold threaded with moonlight. You lift your hand. The brass is cool. The latch yields without complaint. Inside, the air smells of cardamom and old paper. Candles breathe in their glass chimneys. Shelves rise like forests in a dream. There is the hush of snow where no snow has fallen. There is the warmth of hearth where no fire is seen. At the far desk, a figure waits. Not man, not woman, a presence shaped by patience and light. When the head lifts, the eyes are kind. The smile small and certain as a bookmark. Welcome, says the librarian. You have arrived between minutes. It is the safest place to rest. A chair appears beside you, not conjured, only remembered. You sit, your shoulders loosen a measure you did not command. Somewhere above, a high window admits a ribbon of moon, and dust becomes a slow constellation. Breathe here, the librarian whispers. In through the nose, hold as long as a page takes to turn. Out through the mouth, as if cooling tea. The room follows your breath. Candles dim, then brighten, spines glimmer, then rest. Beyond the stack, a clock that cannot be seen releases a single, tender chime. This is the library that opens only when the world is quiet enough to hear it. Here, books keep company with the people who once loved them. Here, stories choose their readers. And tonight, a story has chosen you. Come, the librarian says, rising with a soft sound of paper sighing. Let us shelve the day. Then we will find the page that sleeps with your name on it. The first aisle wears the scent of rain. Not wet, not cold, only the clean memory of weather. Lamps hang low, their light the color of steeped honey. You trail a fingertip along a row of spines, and each title warms beneath your skin. These shelves remember, the librarian murmurs. Not facts, not endings, they remember hands. Every touch is a small vow to return. A cart rolls past on its own, wheels padded with felt, bearing a stack of books asleep under a woven cloth. The cloth lifts at one corner as if to wait, then settles. Where do they go, you ask? Voice a careful thread. Where they are needed, comes the answer. Grief to the soft chairs by the western window. Wonder to the steps under the dome. Courage to the table near the fern. You pass a niche where a teapot steams without kettle or flame. The cups are mismatched but friendly. On a saucer rests a single sugar cube that never hurries to dissolve. Will I read? You ask. You will be read, the librarian replies, with the smallest smile. You do not ask how, you already know. At the turn of the second aisle, the staircase spirals like a shell. Its treads are polished by generations of quiet courage. You climb. The banister fits your palm like a memory you had not yet lived. Above, the dome is a shallow bowl of night. No stars, only the feeling that stars have just stepped out to fetch more light. Here, a long table waits. It is set with book pillows and linen weights, with soft brushes for lifting dust like blessing. The librarian gestures to the chair nearest the center. Place the day here, they say. You rest your hands on the wood. The surface is warm. The warmth says, yes, I can hold it. What if it is heavy? All days are, the librarian answers, until they are shelved. You close your eyes, you breathe in, counting the length of a page. You breathe out, as if blowing dust from a corner sunlight loves. And with each slow exhale, the day arranges itself into chapters. The chapter of arrival, the chapter of effort, the chapter of forgetting to be gentle with yourself. You don't read them, you label them without ink. The librarian sets 3 small markers on the table. A smooth stone, a silk ribbon, a pressed leaf the color of dusk. Stone for what stays, they say. Ribbon for what returns. Leaf for what need not be kept. You touch the stone first. It is cool, reliable, small enough to carry in a pocket without burden. Your fingers rest there, one breath longer than you meant. You touch the ribbon. It slips across your skin like a promise you no longer have to chase. You touch the leaf. It crackles faintly, not breaking, only agreeing to become earth again. We will file the leaf, the librarian says, with other beautiful things that have finished their work. A book arrives on the table. You did not see who brought it. It opens itself to a page in the middle where the words are not ink but light. The light reads you. It moves across across your face, your throat, your hands, as if checking out a book that has been waiting to be held. A warmth gathers in your chest. It is not excitement, it is permission. You belong, the librarian whispers, not to the task, not to the trial, to the table, to the breath, to the night that keeps its door open for you. Around the dome, the shelves murmur, not voices, not words. The sound of paper remembering rain, the sound of ink remembering river. You lower your gaze to the light page. A single line appears, not written, only revealed. You may rest. The sentence does not argue. It does not persuade. It sits beside you like a friend who has learned the art of quiet. Your head tips, your shoulders surrender another small weight. The librarian sets the ribbon upon the open page, and the light folds around it as a lake accepts a boat. We will walk, they say softly. Shelving is best done in motion. Down the spiral again, through the aisles, past the teapot and the mismatched cups. Your steps fall into the library's rhythm, soft, even, present. At the end of a long corridor, a narrow door waits, painted the blue of old midnight. A brass plate, worn by grateful thumbs, reads the quiet section. The librarian touches the latch. Beyond this, they whisper, are the books that learned to sleep before they were read. You do not know why the thought makes your eyes warm. Perhaps because you, too, would like to learn such a thing. The door opens. Darkness is not waiting. Gentle blue is. Shelves glow as if lit from within by distant weather. The floor is covered by a woven runner that forgives every footstep immediately. Choose a chair, the librarian says. Then let the chair choose you. You sit where the lamplight falls like warm rain. It finds your hands first, then your throat, then the place between your eyes that has worked too hard. From the nearest shelf, a thin volume leans forward. Its cover is unassuming. Its title is your breath. You open it. There are no words, only lines spaced like footsteps on an evening road. You place a finger on the first line and breathe in. You move to the next and breathe out. Line by line, the quiet writes you. The librarian remains nearby, neither hovering nor gone. Candles count the minutes, no clock will claim. Somewhere, a window decides to rain a little more light into the room. When you look up, the shelves have moved closer, not to crowd, to keep. You are a book between books. You are safe in the order of things. Enough for now, the librarian whispers, laying the pressed leaf on the open page. What will not be kept is already turning into rest. There goes the slender volume, not with finality, but with kindness. Shall we go hear the shelves that remember? You nod, you rise, you do not need to take the book with you. It will follow in the way that sleep follows those who make room. The door to the quiet section breathes closed. The corridor greets you with the soft rustle of pages far away. The rain outside has begun again, very gently, as if practicing for a lullaby. Listen, the librarian says, hand raised not to hush, but to invite. Every shelf here keeps a different kind of silence. You will find yours. You breathe, you walk, you keep company with the minute that kept its door open just for you. The shelves are alive tonight, not moving, not shifting, but breathing in quiet rhythm, in time with you. A faint hum ripples through the aisles. Like wind inside a seashell, it carries a memory, faint but tender, of someone long ago, turning a page and sighing in wonder. You follow that sound. The librarian follows you, not beside you, but just behind. A lantern in human shape, steady, unhurried. Every shelf keeps its own kind of remembrance. They whisper, this one, the shelf of beginnings, it remembers the feeling of first words ever spoken aloud, before language became duty. It was simply joy. You run a hand along the spines. They feel warm, like smooth river stones left in the Sunday. Each pulse beneath your fingertips feels like someone else's heartbeat, echoing across time. Farther down the aisle, a whispering shelf glows the faint color of old amber. You pause before it. The glow leans toward you like a friend wanting to share a secret. These books remember laughter, the librarian murmurs, stories that never learned to end in sorrow. A faint ripple moves through the spines, a sound halfway between wind and giggle. You cannot help but smile. It feels strange to smile inside silence. The librarian sets down the lantern on a table carved from driftwood. It burns with no flame, only memory. Light brushes your wrist, and you feel a moment that does not belong to you. A child running through rain, barefoot, laughing. It happens sometimes, they whisper. The shelves lend a memory to those who need warmth. You nod. The warmth lingers like tea cooling in a cup. You move on. A section of darker wood calls softly. Shelves heavy with books bound in midnight hues. Here, the hum is deeper, slow as breathing in sleep. This is the section of unspoken love. The librarian says quietly, words too tender, too afraid of being misunderstood, came here to rest. A single candle burns before the shelf, its wax pooling like melted moonlight. In its glow, you see faint writing on the nearest spine, not letters, but breathing marks. Each one seems to rise and fall with your own inhale and exhale. Will they ever be read? You ask softly. The librarian shakes their head. They are already known. Love never needed an audience. For a moment, the candle flickers higher. Your reflection in its flame looks younger, or maybe just lighter. The aisle narrows, opening into a chamber made entirely of mirrors. But the reflections are not yours. Each shows a different reader, eyes closed, resting against the glow of their own story. The air hums with thousands of quiet sighs, a choir of release. This, the librarian says, is where unfinished tales sleep. Unfinished, you ask? All stories are unfinished, they reply, until someone dreams them again. You glance at the mirrors, one flicker. In its glass, you see yourself, not as you are, but as you rest. Eyes soft, hands still, a reader becoming part of what they read. The librarian reaches out, their fingers not touching glass, only guiding the light. Your reflection exhales, the glass sighs back. Do you see? The librarian whispers. The shelves remember you, even when you forget yourself. A hush file, so complete it feels sacred. The hum softens into pulse, then heartbeat, then stillness. You sit down upon a bench of velvet and oak. It sighs like it has been waiting for your wait. The librarian sits across from you, folding their hands. Close your eyes, they say. Let the shelves breathe for you. You obey. A sound rises. Soft, fluid, éternel. It might be pages turning. It might be the tide beneath language. For a moment, you remember every book that ever kept you company. The first one, the one that made you cry, the one that made you believe the world could still be kind. They're all here, and they are all whispering, rest now. When you open your eyes, the librarian has placed a book in your lap. Its cover glows faintly, neither gold nor silver, but the color between. The title simply reads, "The Story That Needed Sleep." You trace the letters with your fingertips. They blur as if they too are drowsy. "May I?" you ask. The librarian nods. "Of course," they whisper. "It has been waiting for you." The book opens. Light pours in, soft and pale, like dawn seen underwater. You feel yourself drifting, not down, not up, but inward. The shelves hum again, the mirrors sigh, the librarian's lantern dims. And somewhere, very far and very near, a page turns itself. Your breath follows its rhythm, slow, deep, and safe. The chapter is waiting, and it begins where your heartbeat ends. The book blooms open in your hands, not with crackle, not with weight, with the softness of a curtain lifted by a kinder wind. Light spreads across the table, a pale gold tide pooling around your wrists. The librarian lowers their lantern, and the room lowers its voice to men. There is no ink on the page, just breath marks, a pattern of quiet. You lean closer. The letters appear as you breathe, strokes of light forming when you inhale, softening when you exhale. "Do not try to read," the librarian whispers. "Let the page read you." You rest your fingers on the margin. The paper is warm, alive, with a pulse that matches your own. A first sentence rises like dawn mist. You have been carrying the day carefully. A second follows, folded into the first like wave into wave. You may set it down without breaking it. Your chest loosens. The chair accepts your weight a little deeper. Candles lean closer. Their flames, small listeners. A new page turns by itself. You did not move. The book knows the speed at which you are willing to be comforted. Across the paper, symbols bloom like constellations. Some resemble handwriting. Some resemble the pattern on your palm. The library keeps many alphabets. The librarian says, voice low as velvet. Tonight is the one your breathing understands. You trace a curve of light with one fingertip. It hums a quiet note that settles behind your sternum. Loosen string old knots no word had found. On the next line, a scene appears, not painted, not described, remembered into being. A window you knew years ago, rain on the glass, a cup cooling beside an unread page. You are there without leaving your chair. You are here without losing your place. Memory is a gentle librarian, they murmur. It reshows what once felt scattered. The paper deepens to a soft indigo. Stars rise upon the fibers, point by patient point. Between them, your name appears, not in letters, but in the way the lights choose to stand together. You do not reach for it. You let it find you. A paragraph breathes out, and the air of the room sweetens, vanilla of old bindings, tea steam, linen slowly drying by a fire you cannot see. Your shoulders melt, your jaw remembers kindness. Now, the librarian says, we will let the book write what you do not need to hold. They place a small blotting page across the margin. It drinks light where heaviness had begun to gather. The blotter warms, changing from white to rose gold, like a dawn you had not planned but will accept. A line unfurls. It was not your task to carry every weather. Another follows, sleeker, truer. The sky has its own shelves. You smile without moving. The book answers by softening your breath again. In, hold, out. The librarian moves around you the way dusk moves around a window, present, uninsisting. They set 3 tools by your right hand. A linen weight like a small sleeping stone, a brush of fine goat hair, and a ribbon dyed the blue between page and night. What shall I do with them? You ask, your voice already part of the hush. The weight is for the thought that refuses to lie flat, they say. The brush is for dust that is only time being tender, and the ribbon marks the place where you learn to rest. A small draft wanders through the dough. Candles bend in greeting. The page turns again, revealing a chapter titled With Your Next Exhale. Within the margins, figures sketch themselves in light. A chair that knew your exact shape, a path that knew your exact pace, a hand that knew your exact warmth. They wave from the edges of the scene, not to call you away, but to bless the stay. Books are doors, the librarian murmurs, but they are also blankets. You test the truth of that by closing your eyes. Warmth collects along your collarbones, spreads like lamplight down your arms, rests in your hands. The room listens with you. Even the clock that cannot be seen forgets to chime. When you open your eyes, the page has filled with a gentle script. Your script, but kinder. It writes what you would have said to someone you love and let you say it to yourself. You did enough. You are allowed to be carried. Rest is not the opposite of worth. The script glows softly, then fades, not to disappear, only to become the light by which the next lines are seen. A subtle bell rings far off, not the hour, a kindness being delivered to another table. Somewhere in the stacks, a reader exhales in relief. You feel it as a breeze across the page. Stories share whether the librarian said, "What clears for one, clears for many." They placed the ribbon at the top of the leaf. Now, they whisper, "Let the book write the part you cannot explain." The lights dim to a twilight gold. The line spacing widens. Between the lines, a tide begins, slow, assured, merciful. You watch words appear only when you relax the muscles around your eyes. When you try, they hide. When you soften, they return, like birds who will eat from your palm if you keep very still. A single paragraph gathers courage. It is safe to become quiet. The world will continue to turn without your watchfulness. A warmth moves through your back, unhooking the day from your spine. Your breathing chooses a slower alphabet. The librarian does not touch you. They adjust the angle of the lamp by 1 degree, and the page glows like coals that have decided to become stars. Another page turns. This one is nearly blank. In the center, a sentence forms 1 syllable at a time. Let go. The syllables float apart. The meaning remains whole. Your hands open in your lap. You had not realized they were fists. The chair receives your surrender as a gift it has been waiting to unwrap. Good, the librarian breathes. Now the book can keep watch for you. The margins widen further until the text is an island of light in a calm, dark sea. From the corners of the room, soft page turns begin to sync with your pulse. You cannot tell if the library is breathing with you or you with it. A gentle shadow crosses the paper, not cloud, not hand, just rest, settling where it is welcome. When it passes, 3 new lines remain. The chair will remember your shape. The night will remember your pace. The book will remember how to keep you safe. Your eyes sting briefly, as if rain had visited and left everything cleaner. You blink once, the sting becomes clarity. Shall we give the page its nightcap? The librarian asks, playful as a candle's wink. They take the goat hair brush and make one slow path over the sheet. Dust, lifts like forgiveness. Then the linen weight placed at the lower corner, not to hold anything down, but to tell the paper it may stop being brave. Finally, the ribbon laid across the last clean sentence. You may sleep before the story is over. The book closes itself by a thumb's width, not shut, just modest. It waits like a companion content to sit beside your silence. The librarian stands. Walk with me to the window, they say. You rise. Your body feels arranged, like typeset carefully in a frame. At the tall, mullioned glass, rain ropes down in silver threads. The city sleeps beneath rooftops glassed, alleys rinsed of noise. The librarian's reflection stands beside yours, more lantern than person, more hush than flame. You will think the peace came from the book, they murmur. It did not. It came from your willingness to be read. A faint chime from somewhere inside the dome. Not the hour, the approach of closing, the slow choreography by which night hands you to sleep. Before we close, they say, there is the desk of returning. They lead you to a low table carved with vines and stars. Upon it lies a ledger bound in indigo cloth. Your name is not written there. Your breath is. Breathe once into the page. The librarian instructs. So the library will know the shape of your absence and the way of your return. You lean close, exhale. The ledger warms. Letters bloom for a moment. Not letters, only light forming a memory of your presence. Then it fades, as restful as a candle being pinched by gentle fingers. It is enough, they say. You are now a patron of the hour between minutes. The book in your hands becomes lighter still. You realize you are holding nothing at all. The story has taken its place where your worry used to live. Come, the librarian whispers. We will close the night softly. You pass once more through the aisles, the shelf of beginnings, the laughter glowing like amber, the hush of unspoken love. Each section bows without moving. Each flame memorizes your pace. At the threshold, the door waits, thin seam of dark stitched with moon. Rain hushes. Streets remember how to shine. Before you go, the librarian says, placing something small and warm in your palm, a bookmark. It is not paper. It is a little weight of sleep. You tuck it into your pocket. Your breath deepens, as if relieved to be carried home. Will the story finish without me? You ask. It will finish being worried, they answer. It will continue being gentle. You bow, they bow. Two courtesies in a room that knows how to keep them. The door opens to the street between buildings that never met. You step through. You do not look back. Not from fear of losing the way, from confidence that it will find you again. Behind you, a final page turns itself. Ahead, your pillow waits like a book left open to the perfect place. Breathe in, breathe out. The chapter has written what it needed. Now let sleep write the rest. The rain has quieted, not stopped, only softened, like a thought losing its edges. Outside, the streets glimmer like open books, each puddle a mirrored sentence. The librarian stands at the door, one hand resting on the frame, the other holding a lantern that seems made of breath. You have been read well tonight, they whisper. You let the story do its work. You smile, faint and unplanned, as if some distant version of yourself just learned to exhale. The air inside the library hums a soft farewell. Candles bow in the chimneys. Pages rustle like waves finding the shore. You look around once more. The golden aisles, the moonlit tables, the chair that still remembers your shape. It will be here, the librarian says gently, whenever your breath needs a place to rest. You nod. The nod feels like a prayer learned in childhood, not to repeat, but to remember safety. They lift the lantern. Light spills across the floor in the pattern of leaves. Golden, delicate, infinite. You step onto them, and they do not break. They rise, instead, folding beneath your feet like small wings made of calm. Tell me, you ask softly, who keeps the library when you rest? The librarian's smile widens a fraction. The silence, the answer, it knows the catalogue by heart. You both laugh, not loudly, but the kind of laughter that heals the corners of things. It sounds like two pages closing together in gratitude. Before you leave, the librarian continues, there is one last ritual. They guide you to a narrow alcove behind the great desk. A small pool lies there, water so still it reflects the stars beneath it, not above. This is the mirror well, they whisper. Every dream passes through it before returning home. You kneel beside the rim. The stone is cool beneath your palm. The surface trembles once, not from wind, but from your pulse meeting its memory. In the reflection, you see the story you've just lived. The shelves, the amber laughter, the book that wrote itself. They drift through the water like lanterns down a river, slow and certain. Each one glows a little brighter as you watch. The librarian crouches beside you. The library remembers all who have rested here, they say, but only those who have forgiven themselves may see their reflection clearly. You inhale through your nose, feeling the weight of the day stir once, then release, sinking down through your ribs, your spine, into the earth's waiting steadiness. When you open your eyes again, the surface of the pool is calm. The reflection stares back, but it is not tired anymore. It looks like someone who knows where rest begins. A faint shimmer crosses the water. A ripple is shaped like a page turning. The librarian nods. The chapter is closed, they murmur. Sleep will write the rest. You rise. The lantern light follows. It does not cast a shadow anymore. It walks beside you as though the two of you are one. At the threshold again, you pause. Rain glimmers on cobblestones outside. Each drop a punctuation mark to the night sentence. The air smells of ink, cedar, and the quiet of things well kept. Will I remember this place? You whisper. The librarian tilts their head. You already have, they say. Every time you have chosen peace instead of hurry, that was the door opening. Something softens inside you. You could cry, but you do not need to. The tears have already become rain. You step forward. Outside, the street glows like a lullaby written in water. Behind you, the library folds itself closed, one side at a time. Its windows dim, its heartbeat slows, its shelves dream in silence. The librarian's voice follows you, barely louder than the drizzle. Sleep well, reader of light. The story is not ending, only resting. You turn the corner and the door disappears. Only rain remains and a faint warmth in your pocket, the bookmark of sleep. Your breath finds its rhythm again, in, out, slow, safe. A final whisper drifts through the dark, so soft it could be memory. The library waits for those who remember to rest. You smile, your eyes close. The rain continues its gentle story against the glass, and the night, like a great and patient book, turns the page. The rain has settled into a hush. not ending, only softening, like a voice lowering itself for a secret meant only for you. The night no longer asks questions. It simply waits, steady as breath, gentle as the hand that turns the final page. You are lying now, not walking, not reading. The world of shelves and lanterns and rainlit glass is closing its eyes with you. And somewhere within the folds of that library, the librarian is shelving the story you just lived. They move without sound, placing your tale among those that breathe, not those that sleep forever. Because your story, like every true one, will wake again when morning softens through your curtains. Outside your window, a small rain continues its sermon of calm, each drop a punctuation mark of peace. It doesn't rush, it doesn't seek, it simply is. Your breath joins it now. Inhale, a tide arriving. Exhale, a tide returning home. The rhythm belongs to no one, but holds everyone. Tonight, you belong to that rhythm. Nothing to hold, nothing to fix, nothing to remember. The books will remember for you. The shelves will keep their gentle vigil. Now, feel the weight of your body, the way the mattress meets your shoulders, the blanket cradling your chest. Notice the warmth at your feet. That warmth is permission. Every corner of you that once held tension is loosening now, like ribbon untied after a long day. Your forehead smooths, your jaw forgets effort. The small muscles behind your eyes relax into darkness, the way ink relaxes into paper. The librarian would smile to see you now. They would close their ledger, dip their quill, and note in the margin, the reader has safely entered sleep. Listen to what remains. Perhaps a faint hum from the rain pipe. Perhaps your own pulse echoing in the pillow. Each sound is part of the library's afterword, the gentle noises left behind when words have done their work. If thoughts wander in, let them take a seat. They are only visitors. You do not need to host them. The chairs know how to hold them quietly. If memories return, let them arrive as readers, turning their own pages. You are no longer the author tonight. You are the silence in which the story rests. Now, imagine a small candle burning somewhere far but faithful, perhaps on the librarian's desk, perhaps in the gentle architecture of your heart. Its flame does not need to fight the dark. It belongs to it. that tiny glow is your awareness, soft, kind, watching over your dreams. Breathe again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let the exhale take the last edges of the day with it. If there is still a weight in your chest, imagine setting it down in the library. Picture the librarian taking it from your hands and placing it on a high shelf where it will turn slowly into light. You may visit it again, but it will never be heavy now. The rain thickens once, like applause too gentle to wake you. It knows its role, to blur the world into comfort. There are no clocks here, no hours to measure you by, only the slow unfolding of rest, a flower that never questions dawn. Feel how your breathing has changed, deeper, slower, a soft metronome of surrender. The muscles of your back melt into the surface beneath you. Your hands are quiet, boats on a still lake. And as you drift, you may hear it, a sound like paper sighing, a single page turning somewhere in the dark. That is the library acknowledging your peace. And that page's movement is blessing. May your dreams be calm. May your heart stay kind. May your rest be whole. If you need a prayer for the night, let it be this: I have read enough today. I have tried enough today. I am enough for today. You may whisper it once, or let it echo silently through your chest. Either way, it will be heard, not by the world, but by the small flame that guards your dreaming. Somewhere far above, the librarian closes the last book of the night. They whisper into the still air. The reader sleeps, and the shelves answer, each one glowing faintly. Then the story may rest too. You are safe. You are loved. You are kept. The world will continue, gently, perfectly, while you dream. No page will turn without your permission. No word will call you back too soon. In this stillness, you have joined every reader who ever found peace between sentences. You have become part of the library's hum. It will hum for you through the dark until morning writes its soft reply. Now, breathe once more. Let your breath be the ink of this final line. Sleep has found you. Sleep will keep you. The rain will guard the window. The library will guard the dream. And silence will keep the light. Sweet dreams, gentle reader. You are home now.